equals 8,000. How? Wait.
I believe I just cracked the Dragon Ball Z power level code, so I'm sure that this video is gonna struggle for 500 views and keep me in YouTube's blacklist just like I've been for the last few years. So please like, comment, and share the video and help the channel finally break free of this false report acid pit that we were tossed into. Power levels between Super Saiyan 1 and Super Saiyan 2 are double, meaning the bottom end of Super Saiyan 1 is 150 million and the top end is somewhere close to 300 million. Super Saiyan 2 has a much larger gap, double the power level, and its lowest starts at 300 million and goes up to near 1 billion. So the range of Super Saiyan 1 to Super Saiyan 2 is 2x. The range between Super Saiyan 2 and Super Saiyan 3 is 4x. Because Super Saiyan 3 is capped at minimum 1.2 billion. That's the bottom end. Follow the logical progression. The next range would be 8x. So Super Saiyan 3 to Super Saiyan 4's range would be 1.2 billion to 9.6 billion, making the bottom end of Super Saiyan 4 around 9.6 billion or 10 billion. Both Super 17 and Super Baby are a bit less than Super Saiyan 4. You're looking at the bottom end of Super Saiyan 4's tier. I think it's fair to say 9.6 billion for Super Baby and 10 billion for 17, exactly equal with Goku. Omega Shenron clapped both of them like they were nothing. He's absolutely more than double their speed and strength, handling their best key attacks, and we know that 3x is more than enough to destroy the enemy. So it's possible that Omega Shenron is over 30 billion. Now, animes like to use nice round numbers, so look at how these nice numbers play into the factors. So let's round that up to 10 billion for Super Saiyan 4 instead of 9.6 billion. Gogeta and fusions are a 200x multiplier. I'll discuss exactly why in just a bit. So that would make Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta's power level around 4 trillion. 10 billion plus 10 billion, both Goku and Vegeta's base, times 200 is 4 trillion. You can't argue with that logic. It's a nice clean number, and you're gonna see why by the end of the video. How about Vegito back in Dragon Ball Z? Some V-Jumps said that Gogeta and Vegito are roughly on par, and I'm certainly in that world that thinks both fusions have different power sets and key abilities with different perks, but the same general power level. So 3 million base plus 3 million base for 6 million times 200 equals 1.2 billion. Oh hey, look at that. Another number that we've hit that's exactly the same power level of somebody else. That's the same power level of Super Saiyan 3 Goku. It's logical that the writers wanted base Vegito to be on par with, or at least as powerful as Super Saiyan 3 Goku, right? It's certainly logical. Remember, the official power level multipliers exist up to Super Saiyan 3. Super Saiyan 1 is 150 million. Super Saiyan 2 is double that of Super Saiyan 1 at 300 million. And Super Saiyan 3 is 4 times Super Saiyan 2 at 1.2 billion. This is the very first of many coincidences like this in this video to come. Just you wait. The guide said that Vegito is perhaps stronger than Super Saiyan 3 Goku, so at minimum it has to be 1.2 billion for Vegito's base and Gogeta as well. Fusion is a 200x multiplier, and that's confirmed with this statement, as Vegeta's base plus Goku's base times 200 has to equate to 1.2 billion, and it does that exactly. But then why is Goten and Trunks' Gotenks just a bit more powerful than Super Saiyan 3 Goku? Let's say that Gotenks is double the power level of Super Saiyan 3 Goku to comfortably get him above anything Super Saiyan 3 Goku can ever do. 2.4 billion for Gotenks and SSJ3, and 1.2 billion for Super Saiyan 3 Goku. So, divide 2.4 billion by 4, and you get his Super Saiyan 2 at 600 million. Half that for Super Saiyan 1 at 300 million. Base, divide that by 50, you get 6 million. So their bases are exactly on par with Goku and Vegeta's base. Another happy coincidence with the exact same number. So that means Goten and Trunks' bases are each 3 million, just like their dads. The numbers are literally perfect. Base Goten and Trunks have a power level of 3 million, just like Goku and Vegeta. That's another perfect value where their base stats match Goku and Vegeta's literally perfect with the exact same number. What do you know? How strange. Another coincidence. The scammers and the Goofku scalers are just going to ignore it anyway. What about Gotenks? Gotenks is Kid Buu plus Super Buu plus Gotenks plus Piccolo. So Scouter Battle showed us that Kid Buu's power level is 1.15 billion. So 1.15 billion plus 2.4 for Gotenks plus 2.4 billion for Super Buu and 175 million for Piccolo equates to 6.125 billion. That's too much of a non-solid number because of Piccolo. So round that down to about 6 million for Gotenks. What about Gohan? Gohan is much stronger than Gotenks, more than double in my opinion, so his bottom end would be 4.8 billion. 4.8 billion for Gohan plus 2.4 for Gotenks plus 2.4 for Super Buu plus 1.15 for Kid Buu plus 175 million for Piccolo equals 10.7 billion. Another non-solid number, so round it down to about 10 billion. Super Saiyan 1 Goku is weaker during the Frieza fight than Piccolo later in the Buu saga, so 165 is a solid 15 million improvement, and now we know how strong the androids are. Around 165 to 175 million, which is spot on with my previous power levels that I've made over the last decade. This is also an era that was released around the same time as the Meta Cooler movie, where all 57 coolers added up to a power level of 10 billion, so that each makes them all around 175 million power level. Another justification for Piccolo being on par with those androids at about 175 million. What about Red God Goku? Also not hard to figure out considering that Goku transformed into Super Saiyan 1 while fighting Beerus and didn't notice any drastic change in himself or his power, which alludes to the idea that Super Saiyan forms are useless now because of the energy drain and stamina drain on their bodies, while God Ki Red is just a way better and roughly equal power at that point. So God Ki base Goku in yellow Super Saiyan 1 form is equal to Red God, because Goku didn't even notice it happen until Beerus told him. So it's fair to say Red God has the same general power if Goku goes Super Saiyan 1 while using God Ki. So Red God is another 50x multiplier off of his base. So if base Goku was around 1 billion, his Red God is around 50 billion. That makes Blue God around 2.5 trillion, which exceeds Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta by just a small smidgen, and both are in the same general ballpark. Again, what are the odds of making Super Saiyan Blue God and Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta so close in power level? Well, it's not another coincidence, it's just how the writers clearly wanted it. So Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta's bottom end, meaning the lowest value, is about 1 trillion, and the bottom end for Super Saiyan Blue Goku is 2.5 trillion. Basically, they're in identical tiers. The odds of Gotenks being in the same tier as Goku and Vegeta, and also Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta being on the same tier as Blue God Goku is not random. It was written that way. So what's Hit's power level? Probably more like 2.75 trillion. What about Golden Frieza? Same general area. I don't think Mastered Ultra Instinct is ungodly more powerful than Blue. It's just a highly more focused and efficient Super Saiyan God Blue in every way, so it's probably just maximizing Blue God's power into its absolute peak possible number value for every stat that Goku has: speed, strength, ki, defense, etc. So if you ask me, as mentioned, there are bottom possible maxes and top possible maxes for every level Goku obtains, and Jiren and Mastered Ultra Instinct are on the top end of what Blue God's power level range is. So if you ask me, Jiren is way more than double, more than triple God Blue Goku. If you ask me to generalize, Jiren's power level is about 6 to 7 trillion on the bottom end. I'm sure that a lot of people will disagree with me here, but before you comment, just look at the numbers and how they add up, and then backtrack them. The odds of 3 sets here hitting the exact same value range is astronomical and too impossible to be a coincidence. So let's recap. Super Saiyan 1 Goku, 150 million. Meta Cooler, Androids, and Piccolo, 175 million. Super Saiyan 2 Goku, 300 million. Super Saiyan 3 Goku 1.2 billion, Broly 1.4 billion according to the Scouter game. Base Gotenks 6 million, Super Saiyan 1 Gotenks 600 million, double that of Perfect Cell. Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks 2.4 billion, Mystic Gohan double that, at least around 4.8 billion. Super Buu at least double the power of Super Saiyan 3 Goku, at least 3 billion. Piccolo 2.4 billion plus 175 million. Remember, Gotenks is Kid Buu plus Super Buu plus Gotenks plus Kid Buu, ended up to 6 billion. Gohan is much stronger than Gotenks, more than double again, so that's 4.8 billion. So that's 4.8 plus 2.4 plus 1.5 plus 1.75 for Piccolo, exactly around 10 billion. Buhan's power level is about 10 billion. Base Vegito is said to be stronger than Super Saiyan 3 Goku at 1.2 billion, so that's the bare minimum times 50. Super Saiyan 1 Vegito is around 60 billion. Super Saiyan 4 is around 10 billion, exactly the same as Buhan. Again, another happy coincidence. Super Baby and Super 17 a bit less and a little bit more. So it's very likely that Buhan would actually beat Super Baby and Super 17, especially so with his durability and regeneration. Omega Shenron looms around 30 billion, so Gogeta slams him up there at 1 trillion. Goku's base form drops off extremely low during Super, and his God Key Red form is pretty much the same as if he turned Super Saiyan 1 now. So that's another 50x value on top of his 1 billion base power level that he had to have to handle Majin Buu later in their battle. When they fought, Goku almost defeated, well technically defeated, Majin Buu, who has a power level of at least 1 billion. So Red God is about 50 billion. Which is nearly exactly the same as Super Saiyan 1 Vegito. Again, this is now the 5th happy coincidence where the numbers are almost identical. It was specifically written this way. Blue is another 50x on top of that, so Blue God is about 2.5 trillion, which is also the same general power level as Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. Do you see how they match? Super's God tiers are clones of GT's Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta and Omega Shenron tier. The intent of Super, anyway, was just to replace GT and offer an alternate path to the same levels of power. Daima Super Saiyan 4 is leagues weaker if you ask me, but that's a story for another day. Super Saiyan 1 Gogeta and Vegito are the same general power level at 1 quadrillion, both of which are stronger than UI Goku and Jiren. And UI Goku and Jiren are less than 1 quadrillion, a lot less if you ask me. So there you go, now you have accurate power levels using the source material, using the guides and what we saw with our eyes.